All right, today we are going to go over a super interesting case study with Thomas. We started working together about 6 months ago. Thomas runs a cold calling agency, and it's a very specific approach that they are having for the real estate agent industry or real estate industry, basically. And without going too deep and detailed into that on my own, I'm just going to give the words to Thomas directly, and he's going to explain what his business does exactly, what's the workflow, how they are running it. And I'm actually curious, and please go into more detail. Like 6 months ago when we met, what was the status of the business? How much money did you guys make? What was the feeling like as a founder, as an owner to run that business, basically? So take it away, man.
All right, thank you. So we are a sales agency. We provide cold calls for real estate agents, and around that when we met, we made around $8,000 for monthly revenue, and that drastically changed since started working together. We actually provide cold calls for the listing part of the sales agent, real estate agents business, and on that we provide not just cold calls but support system for these guys, and we provide pretty high value service for them, because that's a pain point to get the cold calling, to get appointments as real estate agents. I think it's everywhere. It's the same. It's everywhere. When you do this, it's hard to get an appointment. It's hard to overcome the objections. It's hard to overcome the rejections of the process. And we provide that solution for the real estate agents guys. When we started working together, actually, I was doing a lot of sales, and I was doing not just managing the company, but I was in the company actually, and doing the work for that. And we had basically no systems at all. So we started the way as everyone starts. It's with whole heart and no systems, and that's the way to not to become very rich, but to become very busy. And when we started working, that was, as I said, it was like $7,000 or $8,000 per month revenue, and it was around 40 or 50% profit on that, because we provided the calls and also the agency services as well. So that was the start when we met, and now it's like 5 or 6 times the revenue, and I do not do any sales anymore. We have a sales team which does our own contracting as well, and our team has doubled as well. When we started with you, it was like 8 people or so, with cold callers and closers and our own setters, and now it's like 17 or 18, and I'm interviewing currently 3 other guys, because we need to provide more cold calls for these real estate agents.
Wow, that's a pretty substantial increase in revenue and also in team members. So let's break this down actually. You guys were doing between around like $7,000 or $8,000 in revenue with a couple of people, and you were also working in the business, right? At like a 40-50% margin. So that was your profit that you can take home. I mean, gross profit before taxes and everything. But the thing is that it went up to like 5 to 6x, which is approximate like 28, 32 grand. So it's a little bit over or around 30 grand a month, right? And so since your team increased significantly, and also we will talk about the systems, but systems also have costs, right? What is your estimation, or if you have an exact number, that's also fine. What would you say the profit margin, did it remain the same? Did it increase even, or did it become lower? Like what's your, let's say like take home from the
It's a little
revenue?
lower. It's like 30-35%. But if you watch what I do and what I did when we started, that's different dimension. It's like that was a little bit more profit, but I worked a whole lot more because I was in sales as well, and I was doing the calls. Now I don't do any calls, and we get not significantly, but a little lower on the profit side, which is acceptable with this revenue increase as well.
Oh, that's very nice. Actually, this is a very important point that you just touched on because, and I'm curious about how, yeah, like you a little bit explained, but if you can like go more deep into this, like how you feel today and how you, well, like what's your day to day look like today, and what it looked like back then, because you had to run the business, you had to do the service and the fulfillment. Like you actually had to get business for your own business, and then you actually had to get business for your client's business. So it was kind of
Yeah.
like doing everything at the same time, and now it's more like the business building itself that remained on you, right, as a founder.
Of course, yeah, that's exactly true. When I started with you, then back then I was doing sales, so I was doing 3 or 4 calls a day. Not like my sales team because that was always a little over, which I did, and I was managing the team. I did the whole sales management. I did the fulfillment management, and also I did manual notifications for the team members to send contracts, do this, do that, get the follow-ups, and call this guy, call that guy. And now I don't do any of that. We have systems in place for notifications, for sales notifications. I don't do any more call this guy or call that guy messages or calls. I don't do any more sales calls because we have a system, we have sales decks, we have closed Zoom call policy, and also a little bit of increase in sales efficiency because of the automated process of contracts. So we don't do manual contracts anymore. It's a system which is working for the contracts and the notifications for the contracts. So if somebody doesn't sign the contract right away or in 1 or 2 days, they get notified automatically, and also the sales guys get notified. I don't have to do the follow-up process, which is a whole lot of work. And if I choose to go on a vacation or go skiing, I come back home with more money than with I left. And I don't do any work when I'm on vacation or something. And my focus shifted, a whole lot shifted, because back then I was working in my business. That's a good wording for that, because I was doing a whole lot of work inside the team. Now I'm focusing on my business. I'm doing hiring for the right positions. I'm doing systems with you, and also provide more and better solutions for our entire team to reach a higher level, to make better service, to get more clients, and also to be more time efficient with that little extra time, a whole lot extra time which I have right now. So that focus shifted a whole lot, and I feel more like a business owner than an employee in my own business.
That's a great feeling to have when you finally run a business and not
Yeah,
kind of run yourself a little bit.
yeah,
All right, so that's kind of like a 10,000-foot overview of what happened. And I just want to break the whole process down a little bit because 6 months is actually a pretty extensive period of time. So a lot of things happened. So let's start, first of all, from the product and service I would focus on, because if I understand correctly, you basically found a really good gap in the market, which I believe is really important to have a crucial offer, because that's what got you from 0 to 7 to 8 grand. If the offer would then have been great, or there was not a pain point in the market, then you wouldn't have gotten to 7 to 8K in the first place, right? And then systems obviously will go into that, skyrocketed it. But I think the offer is pretty important to understand. And so your clients are basically real estate agents, and then you serve specifically them on the listings side of things. So you don't get buyers for them, you get listings for them. Is that correct?
yes, of course, and that's pretty special because when we started back then with our sales agency, we provided solutions for a whole lot of things like B2B calls, LinkedIn solutions, cold email solutions, and all of that stuff. And on my part, it's a big lesson to not just try to find a new product which you can sell, but actually specialize in one great offer, which is actually serving as a pain point for your audience. And when you have that, then everything starts to become more easier. The solutions become easier, the sales becomes more easier, you get better prices at your offers, you are not competing with anyone. If you have the right offer, then you have a right business. When you are separating yourself and also doing a whole lot of diversion, like B2B calls for us, or LinkedIn or something, that's always gonna hurt the main business. It's always gonna hurt the main offer you have, which maybe provides the whole money you have. So that's a big lesson for me, to not go sideways anymore. But if you have something which works, then scale it and maybe get it more higher volume, or get it better to have higher offers or more pricing options. It's like having one thing which you sell. And a lot of people who start a business, they have a lot of things to sell because they have something, they find the problem for that something, and they start to doubt it and get to find another offer or something. That's the way to become a failure. That's the way to become someone like who tried entrepreneurship and then failed. And the entrepreneur becomes an entrepreneur business owner when he finds something which is valuable for the clients they serve. And as soon as you find something like that, which have a market and have a solution which can be provided easily, and you can box the solution, then you will have a nice business which can scale dramatically and also has more less, not actually not more, less problems, because you have the same client, they have the same problem, they have the same objections, they have the same solutions. So that's an easy way to build a business. And as soon as you get to that point and you start to believe that that's the way, then you will have more money than ever before with your 10 offers or 15 offers you have.
Love it. So you basically went through the what I call trial and error period when you are just kind of hustling and getting everything that you can get your hands on. And then you kind of found one thing that is super valuable, and there is a super high pain point on the market for a specific niche, for a specific function, right? Because it's not just that the real estate, it's about the listings specifically. So I love it because I see the backend and I see the numbers and I see how fast you guys grow. And it's unbelievable when you have a really good offer and that you put on steroids, then, these are the results that you were just talking about. And so then you found this solution, and then you got into okay, I make 7-8 grand, but I do all kind of manual stuff. Like, okay, like what the hell is going to happen? So you passed through the trial and error, then you validated the offer. I think it's a very important stage when you what is the right term for this?
Tested it. It's testing it. It's testing it, not validating actually, because we started
product market fit or service market fit that you find. And then when you found it, then obviously then you can scale it, right? And so how did you approach, or how did we approach? I'm curious from your point of view, like what was really valuable and how did you see the whole 6-month process of building systems and what changed from month to month, like how did we start off in the first place,
All right. I think I started a little bit earlier, because when we started this, then there was a period when we didn't know that this was the offer. We just knew that I had an audience which was real estate agents. I provided training and education for them, and also I could train anyone as a setter or closer. And I did this. I was doing the training, and then once I started the agency model, that was a big difference. Like before that, and we tried a different pricing for this. We tried appointment pricing. We tried to um, get the payment after we did the service, and these were the mistakes we made, and these were the real tough thing to do when we tried to do the work and we didn't get paid, or the pricing was bad, or the offer was bad. And as soon as we found the right offer, like it's a monthly payment, not just some appointment pricing. That's monthly payment for a specific number of contacted leads. That was a big point for us. And also when we started to get the money before we started the service, that was another big lesson, because we can provide guarantees and we can provide everything when we have the money, but we then can grow because we will have the cost of the service for the cold callers. Then that's a good point to have as a beginner entrepreneur. Don't give up on your offer because it doesn't provide you money on the early part of your business, because you don't know what you don't know at that point. You have to test it, you have to make it better, you have to make it happen. It's not just happens that you find an offer which is very good. You make it happen by the way you are trying and making it work. And as soon as we get to that point when we started working together, as I said, we were doing a lot of work for good money, I think, and I was doing the work. But back then, uh, for example, a contract was like, please, I had a member, a closer member, which helped me with my contracts, and I told her that you need to do this contract for me. Can you do it on the night? Yes, 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 she can. And that was manual work. That was the hard part, when she needed to maybe do 4 or 5 contracts a day after she finished the work. And she did it because she loved the business, she loved the agency, and of course, she loved us. And that was a big turning point when we started to work together, and managed to work the sales process, managed to work it like a system. Like with notifications, I didn't have to remind her or anybody to send a contract. The contract automatically went out, and we didn't have to remind people to follow up on the prospects we had, and also the sometimes the invoices or contracts which was left over. It didn't became a headache like it was before. So it was a big turning point. And after that, it all started to happen when we looked at other systems. You looked at our fulfillment. We tried to build up stages and automations for that, and it became easier as well. It's a process. It never stops.
Yeah, I love it. I remember, I think if I have to say a crucial point in the whole 6 months of working, I think it was kind of somewhere in the beginning when we
Yeah,
rented an office. We had a huge, freaking huge whiteboard. And then basically we broke down every single step of exactly what happens from the very beginning when someone becomes a lead or expresses some sort of interest. And then there was a sales process. And then once the sales process is closed, then the fulfillment starts, right? And then we handled the fulfillment flow this very same way and the very same with the very same detail as we handle the sales process. So we just didn't stop like, okay, we just gotta sell this stuff, but we also gotta fulfill and kind of maintain that fulfillment in a high quality, because that's how you can grow, because you don't churn the customers that you already acquired, right?
of
So
course.
as I remember, if I would have to say like a crucial point, I think that was it. Like when we had like those, I don't know, 15, 20 or 25 or whatever the number is,
Yeah,
and of stages and exactly what happens, I think that was crucial. And then after that, we just started to build on top of it.
yeah. That's like when you have a business, you know what's happening, but you don't always see it is from another perspective. And when you draw it, that was the first time for me when I did that with you. When you draw it and see it as it works, you immediately recognize what's wrong. It's to the point. You cannot argue with it. You see that you only have one stages on your fulfillment. Also, that's why it doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah. And that was your last question. Our last session went like that. What's your main problem? My main problem is I don't have enough cold callers. Yeah, so we need to fix that problem, not your every other problem. you can find the focus when you think about it. And
Yeah,
that's true. That was the whole crucial part for that when we started to look at as a business and as a system, not just something which we can sell, and that's good money. It's
exactly. I'm glad you mentioned the new hires because you said that you went from a couple of people to what, like 17, 18 people, and then you still sending out contracts. So you will be somewhere around like 20 people staff, right?
yeah, 20 or 25. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and we started off with the sales process, then the fulfillment, and then as the sales and the fulfillment was going like crazy, then obviously you needed more people. So last time the realization was that we have to make the same kind of like production line for getting new people or handling the whole staff, right? Because there are multiple positions. There are people who come and go, right? There are people who stay for a long time, but that needs to be managed. And also, kind of handle the HR flow as like a lead flow, if you will, right? When people apply, like you have to collect applications
Yeah.
and then filter and then etc. So you kind of sell the employees on the company as well, right? So it's kind of like the same flow. But I love that we
Actually, they
added
have to
that
sell
extra line.
it.
Come again?
Actually, they have to sell themselves.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or yeah, the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where we are at right now. And also, I really love in your business, I really do love, I have to say that I don't know if I told you this before, but I really do like that you guys started off with an agency, and it's still if I know it correctly, it's still majority of your revenue to actually run the service to clients, but you also built up a education leg to the business. So you basically educate setters and closers, which is genius for multiple reasons. One of that is it's a high margin or a high profit margin type of business, and also you can feed them back to your agency as trained employees, but they still pay for the training, right? And then we are also experimenting on a software side. So basically, you have the agency as the core, you do have the education leg, and then you also start to build up kind of like a software solution to real estate agents. So I really do love this. Can you expand on this triangle, if you will?
Yeah, of course. I started actually with the coaching model. So I
Mm.
started with training people. And that was a big crucial part when I had to decide that I will hire every setter I trained at one of these boot camps. And I hired everyone, and they were my first setters, closers, and cold callers in our agency. Back then, I had two sales guys, which like two or three, actually one setter and two closer, which did the closing for the coaching business. And it was main revenue source for me. It was main money for me from this business. And also that changed a lot when we had the agency model work and it became a system. It's like when you have this kind of system, it's like your education business is like an extra. It's like it's good to have because you you have high profit margin product or offer, but it does not matter if I do it or not. It just works. It works anyway. But from this point of view, a coaching business is very good because you don't stress about your webinars, you don't stress about your game on closing, you don't stress about anything. And we have record number of people coming to our coaching programs as well because we have a steady offer. We have very good opportunities for those who are going to get in this game as a setters, for example, because we can provide them the actual job or work after the training, which is a very good opportunity. We can provide the opportunity itself and the training itself for the opportunity, which is very good to have because when you have this, your closing rate just increases like hell, and that's very good to have. And also uh, the point where you don't care anymore. That's also people feel it. It's like you when you need the money or the closer needs the money, he tries to sell and people feel it. It's like a negative spiral downward. You don't have the money and the people feel that you don't have the money, so you won't have the money. And when you have the agency model and you do the coaching up on that, disappears because I have the money anyway. You come or you don't come, it's your decision. And
Exactly.
people feel it and they come. We have record number of people coming to our boot camps. And also with the software, I think the big lesson for the software is like it's not always a standalone thing. It's like um, a solution for the agency or the coaching model, which can help sell that or help give more value on top of what you're giving.
Mm.
And if you look at the software that way, then it becomes a very good asset for your business. And when you look at as a standalone something, you need to have that specific niche or specific people to sell it, which are tech savvy or like to build something like marketing guys or funnel builders. When you have
Mm.
an offer like that, that's good because they are on their own. I actually sell a couple of softwares like people who are like that. But in our main business, it doesn't provide that much value as a standalone product. But as a product which is supporting the main business, it's very good to have. It's very good to have the uh, mm, more freedom to build stuff, the more uh, ways to give the fulfillment. It's very good to have. And also, you mentioned that we have the hiring process, which is very good. Uh, I think one of the big turning points at a business is the first turning point is when you learn to uh, pay a lot more for your advertisements or for your marketing in
Mm.
general. I remember before we started, I had like a month before we started, I had the decision that I will be spending more on my ads and on a specific niche, not 5 or 10 audiences on a specific niche, and I will spend more on the ads. And that was a big turning point because we had the lead flow. Before that, we didn't have that much lead flow. It was only on uh, personal relationships and a little bit of ads. But after that, it skyrocketed. The lead flow is it opens the gate for the system. And when you
Mm.
have the system, you have the right channel for that lead flow, and that's good to have. And that's people who are more smarter or better than me say when you get that lead flow, when you open that flow, something's gonna crack. Something's always gonna crack.
Yeah.
First, we had the sales process crack, then we had fulfillment cracked, and now we have the human resources crack. And when you have a solution like a sales process for that, which we built last time, then it is no more a problem. It becomes like a natural flow to have in your business. You interview people, you get more people. Actually, you find more talents this way because you will have a better opportunity than most businesses. You will have a better opportunity. So if I will start again for my type of person, I will tell as an advice that if the numbers are going down, then spend more on the ads.
Mm.
If you have a lot of customers but cannot serve them, then either your system is bad or you don't have enough people in your business, and
Yeah, I love
you
that
can solve.
I love that you said open the floodgates because ads is really the, if I use a metaphor like ads and the flow in terms of like water coming
Yeah,
from the tap or the piping or whatever. And then I also love that you say things break as the flow coming in. So we need
yeah,
to build like a solid pipeline, let's say, or a tap, and then you can open the water. And it's kind of going parallelly, right? Like you don't know what you don't know, and then you just open the gates, and then in the meantime you kind of fix the piping and yeah, fix the issues. How
yeah.
many clients did you guys start off with like 6 months ago? How many clients did you have, and how many clients do you serve actively right now?
I think we had actively like 15 or 20 when we started
Hmm.
our recurring clients, and now we have 60 or 70.
Okay, so basically you 4x your clientele, and
Yeah,
probably
and
you
we
also.
also it's not that simple because we reject many people right now, and also we have a steady lead flow right now. We can serve more if we have the human resources like cold callers on the
Yeah.
other side. That's the current breakthrough. If we find more cold calls, which we found pretty easily with ads, so
Yeah.
that's simple. Then you can double or triple it because we have the lead flow to that. Um, so that's a little bit complicated. Not just simple that we tripled our business, but we can 4x or 5x our business based on how much we have as cold callers or hiring.
All right. So basically, that's where we are at, and that's what we are scaling and
Yeah.
changing right now. So I think the last logical question is, what's next? What are we going to focus on next?
Yeah. Next is like maybe more scaling systems, like more channels, which provide more lead flow, which actually we don't really need it, but I like to be a little bit in the future with that. I like to make it before I need it. So that's our next step. And also we will try something for our systems as well, like a hiring system. We can I think we can make it more elegant and more like more easier to handle and get into it, like better trainings, smarter trainings, easier trainings for new guys. Also, I like to have a little bit more focus on the software part. Like I'd love to integrate it in our fulfillment as like a system for to be have the basics on. It's like when you provide cold callers and cold calls for someone, sometimes they are not that good at keeping the numbers. And when you can show that with a CRM, or you can show that with a software, that becomes more visible, and that becomes more better to upsell to, or better to have reference on. That's our next focus, to provide it more. And also we will have some nice gadgets like AI chatbots, and also like some AI people that help me get the copy or get something right. So that's kind of the next step for us.
Yeah, I love it. I'm also super excited on the AI front, like the AI GPTs and custom agents for like internal usage, and also now we are experimenting with the AI chatbots and kind of developing that from the ground up. So that's gonna help a lot in the sales process and qualification process on the leads. So I'm super excited we got there finally. We can work on this kind
Thanks.
of
Yeah.
exciting stuff, and yeah. So basically the full on the fulfillment end, you would basically have the software to support the like result reporting, if you will, right? Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be more visible, and so the software would basically aid that you could present it better to your customers, right?
Yeah, that's one part. And also we have a new position which we didn't have back then, and I haven't talked about it. Nothing. It was nothing like that. As our previous leg broken, like previous crack happened,
Mm-hmm.
we found holes on the fulfillment and the backend sales. And I hired a guy which he does the backend sales, and I want to provide him more assets to do that, to get upsells on the actual clients we have, to keep our clients better, and also to have them experience a more higher level service, which cannot be replicatable for a new guy on the market.
Yeah, love it. Well, there are a lot of things to do. What's the revenue target, let's say 1 year from now?
4x the current, maybe.
All right, that's pretty nice because that's over $1 million a year. So that's a pretty neat target.
Yeah. And what's the big news on that? It's like we have the control to do that. It's
Yeah, definitely.
nothing stops us because we have the systems, we have the people to have it, we have the marketing. So everything just needs to happen. Time will make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Thomas, thank you so much for jumping on this case study. I really love that we broke down this whole process of 6 months together now. Even when I was thinking about this call, I'm like, wow, it's really 6 months. It passed so fast, and there are so many things that we accomplished. And just looking back, it was such a great summary of what we've achieved. So thank you so much. And we will keep in touch. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this case study. And if you want, if you have an online, especially service-based business or something similar to like an agency, and you would like to have custom systems built for your agency for similar results that we just had, then there will be a booking link or something down in the description. If you want to reach out and jump on a call completely free and want to chat about it, then let me know, and we will go from there. Have a nice rest of the day.